welcome back to Sensibly Frugal Living. Today I'm making a bacon and cheese turnover, or bacon and cheese puff, bacon and cheese bite, whatever you want to call them. And it's a bit of a treat tea for me, my husband and my kids. We can make this for about £6. So if you think about buying them in the bakery, for one, it can be about £3, and that's, minimum. So 6 for 12, I make 12. I'm going to do them two different ways because my children prefer them flat rather than folded like a turnover. You'll see what I mean, because they take longer to cool down. Can't eat them as quickly if they're done like a turnover. So here I am rolling out the pastry, just ready-made puff pastry. By all means, make your own puff pastry, but I don't have the time to do that. And this is meant to be convenient. So you cut your pastry into 6, and this first batch obviously I'm doing for the children, and you load it up with your cheese and your bacon. So here I am cutting them into 6. So it's such a simple recipe to do. It's not even a recipe really, is it? It's just a assembly. That's what we should call it, an assembly. So here I am putting the cheese on. You want to try and keep it to the middle when you want a nice amount of cheese. That is not enough cheese. I use way more cheese than that, but I'm just grating a little bit at a time. So I think that's the biggest expense, would be the cheese and the pastry. The bacon, I actually don't use it all. You'll see, because I chop it. Because I think one piece of bacon's too much for one of those squares. So I have some left over for dinner the next day. And I have turnovers left over as well. So I'm just topping it with a little bit more cheese there. And obviously you leave the edges, try and leave the edges free, so you get that nice puffiness when you put it in the oven. So here I am doing a little fast forward for you, so you don't have to watch all that. And I am grating more cheese, as I said. This recipe is quite cheese heavy, but it's worth it. You've got to have a good amount of cheese with these. And like I said, we don't eat them all the time. So yeah, these, I know that everybody in my family will eat pastry, cheese and bacon. Like, you can't go wrong with this one. These I will cook in the oven, but the turnovers I cook in the air fryer. The only reason is because these would take me just as long as if I put them all on a tray in the oven, as if I put one in each side of my air fryer. So I'm only being able to cook 2 at a time. But the turnovers, they're folded, so they're smaller, so I can fit 2 in each side of my air fryer, so I can cook 4 at a time. So here I am doing a little bit of a milk wash, just so you get a nice colour. And it just helps it rise, and it just looks better, doesn't it, the end result? So I'm going to bit of parchment paper, baking paper, and assembling these onto the tray. And then I get them in the oven for, I think it took 17 minutes at 220. I did 220 because the pastry pack said so, but it said 10 to 15 minutes, but because I'd loaded them up, it took about 17 minutes for them to crisp up nicely. The air fryer a lot quicker, obviously. So yeah, these are so simple. It's that simple to make them. And like I said, these ones are better for children. Obviously, you can eat them cold. So if you're doing turnovers, they stay together better. But if they're eating them straight out the oven, and if your children, like my children, they're very impatient, and these cool down a lot quicker. So now I'm making the turnover version for me and my husband. So again, cut them into 6. But you turn it on a diagonal. That's what I do. So they looking at you like little diamonds. But I'm grating some more cheese. Like I said, very cheese heavy recipe. But again, for £6 for 12 bacon turnovers, if you had a big family of, say, 4 people, 5 people, 6, 7, to just buy one, like from the bakery, and you times that by, if you've got a family of 8, my crikey, it's like not worth it, because you want a meal that's going to fill you up. And one of these wouldn't fill me up, or my husband, or even my children. That's why we had extra. So you put a little bit less cheese on these, I would, but the same amount of bacon, just cut in half, and then you fold them into the middle at the diagonal, and then you have like your little parcel, and they look all fancy pants. But obviously these ones go in the air fryer and they come up lovely, really lovely and crispy. You could always substitute the bacon You could use pepperami, like the pizza pepperami. You could use a bit of ham. You don't have to do a bacon one. If you've got leftovers, whack it in. Add what you like in it, obviously. But as like these are just the traditional cheese and bacon ones, I thought I'd stick with that for this recipe. But like you could add sweet corn, you could maybe put a bit of tuna in, like anything you want, basically. A bit like a pastry pizza, isn't it? Then you put your own toppings. You could even put your tomato puree on, so it is like a pizza. So they're in the air fryer. They don't take very long at all in the air fryer. And here are the results of the ones that went in the oven. Yummy. The bacon's piping hot in the middle. I always worry the bacon's not cooked, but it is piping hot because it just doesn't crisp as much with the oil from the cheese. And they're the ones from the air fryer. And I have 2 left there that I haven't done yet. So they could go in the fridge, but we cook them up straight away. And look, I'm really proud of them. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time.